Okay. Hello and welcome in, everyone. My name's Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we're going to be building a door for this tool shed that I've been working on for a great amount of time. And also, at the start of this stream, I would like to go ahead and once again say a thank you to the one, the only, the Nando, for he's having a birthday stream today, and he was kind enough to invite me on and wish him a happy birthday. So I want to go ahead and extend a happy birthday to the Nando. And with that, let's worry about what we have to do today. Because I have to worry about what I have to do today. So we're gonna be building a set of doors. We're gonna be building 2 doors. This is going to be for the tool shed project. If you've seen the thumbnail for the stream, you kind of got an idea of what the tool shed project looks like so far. So I've got 3 walls now. These doors are going to be my 4th wall. I also am going to be installing a roof on this. I have built a full roof joist assembly out of 2x4s and 1x4s. And I already have that assembly in my shop, but the assembly is going to get topped with a sheet of plywood, the one you're looking at right here. So this is treated plywood. I really hope I don't have to work with this material too much, because when I first purchased this material and brought it into my shop, well, my house, my basement, this piece of material off-gassed something terribly. So for those who don't know what off-gassing is, a lot of, especially treated plywood, especially treated lumber like what this plywood I have right here, has a terrible reputation for off-gassing. And basically what that means is there's like moisture, the various chemicals that they use in the wood treating process, that all that stuff that gets injected into this will some of that stuff will kind of leave the material. And when it leaves that material, it off gases into the space. And this material, my cedar, this smells amazing. This material, the treated plywood, smells like garbage. So my basement smelled amazing for a couple of days because of the cedar, and then it smelled like garbage because of the treated plywood. So I am very eager to get this installed in the tool shed outside. So that's a little bit of the preamble. So we got even more preamble. So my build plan, and this is the wrinkle. This is the biggest wrinkle I have to deal with. Actually, I don't even think I included. So I did not include the link to the build plans for what I'm building in the description for this stream, but they are available in the tool shed build stream, which was 3 streams ago. But the biggest wrinkle I have to keep track of when I'm doing all the things I'm doing today is that my material is actual true 4 inches across. Actually, wait a second. Do I have 1x4 material? Give me a second. I gotta look through my scraps. Worked with 1x4. I've worked with it before. No. Okay. So I don't actually have any true 1x4 pine laying around. Typically, so for those who are unfamiliar, there's a thing called nominal dimensions and actual dimensions. So a lot of lumber, like 2x4s, which, one second. Granted, I actually have references for 2x4s because they're readily. So here is a cut off cut of 2x4. So, and what it is basically 1.5 inch thick by 3.5 inch thick. So even though this is called 2x4 material, its actual dimensions are 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch. The issue I have to worry about for this material is, so it's called 1x4. So this is actually 7/8 material, where my actual dimension is 7/8, so I have a little bit extra thickness, a little bit of extra meat. That's technically a good thing. But the width of my material is actual 4 inches. So rather than this be like 3.5 inches, like 2x4, that showcases the difference in thickness of this material versus what, because this is kind of closer to what the build plans are calling for in terms of width. So I have a little bit of extra width with the material I'm working with, so I have to be mindful of that. So that's my big, this is the thing I have to keep at the forefront of my mind. Otherwise I make this thing too big, because I love hydration. So if we go to our build plans, and so this is a little bit of the frame we're building. So the top pieces, those are 33.5. Those are 33 inches across. Well, if my material, I think I'm supposed to be 60. Yeah, I'm supposed to be 60 with my height. Because the height, if this board's supposed to be 60, but my material is an extra 1/2 inch bigger, then that means my door ends up big, because it's gonna get a piece at the top and then a piece at the bottom. Because I'm getting a piece each at each side, I am doubling the extra width of this. So that 66 material, I am fully prepared to build this door a little bit bigger than what I need, and then I just bust out the power planer, and if I need to take, I don't want to take more than 1/4 inch off any of my sides, but I have to build it. I have to keep in mind what I wish to accomplish today in terms of my pieces. So that's the hard part of what I'm trying to do today, is a lot of my pieces are, I can't just follow the plans and expect a good result. I mean, I could, but my door would end up being taller and maybe a little bit wider, so. Also, I do have to build the door a little bit thicker, a little bit larger in the left-right direction. So that top piece that's at 33 inches, I actually have to make that 33.5. So, and then the 26 is the 26-inch piece in the center. That's going to have to be 26.5. So it's a little bit of the stuff I have to keep in mind. So that's enough thinking about dimensions and things. So let's go ahead and crack open a cold one, so that way we can actually get like today's build going. So so I don't have, actually, you know what, I'm gonna bump you guys down just a hair so you can kind of see a little bit more of the cutting action that we have going on here. So I have an irregular edge. That's the edge that comes from the lumber yard. So first thing I'm going to do is cut that off. So now I have a clean referenceable edge here. And with that, my board gets turned around. For those who don't remember the earlier the first Toolshed build stream. Yeah, this is a lot of what we were doing in that stream was dimensioning lumber. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and focus on my height pieces. So I want 4 95.5-inch pieces. So, over. Get really close to my 5.5. Have that mark. Now that I have a mark, I bust out Speed Square Coon. And then it extends my mark. And then I can cut this. Oh. Once again, I'm sorry. For I have gotten eager beaver. I didn't actually set my iPhone for tracking in the best spot. So honestly, we're just going to live with that for now. So let's grab another piece of lumber. And we're going to repeat this pattern. Now, one of my hopes is to use some of these offcuts for later, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, though. We will see what happens. But for now, we dimension lumber. Sorry about that, circular saw. Ah. Woo. Oh yeah. Actually, I need to bring that hair. That's a little bit better. And there we go. That's 2 pieces. We have 2 pieces. We need 4, so we're halfway there. And there we go. Here's our friend. Here's our lumber. The thing that we will build doors out of. Biggest thing I'm worried about is hitting something. Because I'm basically swinging like full-size boards all through the shop, so I don't want to strike anything that shall not be struck. Do-do. There we go. So that's board. Ooh. I like that sound. Let's get our last piece of lumber. gotta say, today's been a really good day. Actually went to Costco today. And for those who don't know anything about me, just know that if I go to Costco, I've had a good day. Also, I've had my favorite food today, so today has been a really, really, really good day all around. And then I also have a special treat for myself here later, but it's gonna be we get to that when we get to that. But for now, it's gonna be a lot of just Circular Saw ASMR. There we go. Board. So that gets us our first 4 boards. So I need to collect these guys. And we need to, well, I gotta do some evaluating on them. So some of these boards definitely have some imperfections. Some are worse than others. Yada yada. But the biggest thing that's how you know I've been having way too much. Well, that's how you know I've been having alcohol as well. Carbon dioxide's gotta leave me somehow. So, I need 2 sizes of boards. I need 33 1/4 and 26 1/4. And lo and behold, we have plenty of material here cut out. 33 1/4. So, make a mark for 33 1/4. So that gives me just a small little bit of waste material. So that is pretty much ideal, because having just essentially this little bit of material here as waste material basically means I can relegate that to my to be burned pile versus I need to save this for later pile. So, and then I think for this guy, we're gonna go ahead and double check for measurement. Ooh, does it want to be so there? So, what's going on is I've got a slight angle to this. So, oh, actually, wait a second. I should be okay with a slight angle. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna be fine with that. It's an 1/8 inch angle. So, the most important boards that I get perfectly square are gonna be the 26 1/4. 26 1/4 have to be actual 26 1/4. 33 1/4 can just be 33 1/4, but 26 1/4 actually have to be really accurate. But that's also another thing I want to do with these 33 1/4 pieces is I want to basically dial in, set up my measuring, my cutting, get all that to where I need it, so I make the right cuts. Because the thing about the 26 1/4 that I have to get right is the 26 1/4 are going to go in between 2 of the pieces. I have to make sure those are correct. I have a little bit of wiggle room for the other sides. However, though, for the 26 and quarters, those are a lot more important to get right, so... Yeah! Actually, this is actually really good, like... So, we're basically using 4 pieces of lumber to get the better part of our materials. I should actually only need... Ooh, okay. So, here's a case of evaluating. So, we have a lot of bark material here on the edges of this piece. So, the biggest issue. Normally, if this was like a face plank, I wouldn't be worried about that too much. However, though, oh yeah, so our 33 and quarters is going to come in here, really deep into this bark territory. The biggest issue with this bark territory is we lose thickness on our board. Now, you might be asking, well, Sugi, why does this matter? Well, it matters because of how we are joining these boards together. All these boards we're joining together, we're going to be using pocket hole screws. Hopefully I have enough height in my shop to stand these boards up for the pocket hole jig. But, so, since we're using pocket holes to hold this together, and I don't have a full edge, I'm not going to use this board. That board's just going to go over to the scraps, so. And then we also have another board. However, though, this is one board. Who knows? Maybe I might be able to convince myself out of this. So, this board also has a lot of barking material, but we have an edge with a fair amount of edge. We're not really losing a lot of edge to bark material here versus what we have going on here, because we don't want to be in this brown area. We want to make sure our fasteners go into the actual, like, the meat of the lumber itself, which is going to be in the white area. So for this board, what I have here, I'm going to check, see where 33 and a quarter gets me. 33 and a quarter gets me to here. Well, I don't have a lot of bark material, so I feel comfortable using this board versus, say, this board from earlier. Take a look at it. 33 and a quarter gets us here. Then we have all this bark material. Now, if I was really, really, really particular, I could probably like face this board in such a way to where I could have my screw would be cheated to the side that has good solid lumber. But I have plenty of material and I don't want to worry about that. So I'm going to just set that off to the side and I'm not going to worry about it. As for this, one side I cannot use, but the other side I can. So say hypothetically I'm using this for one of the bottom boards. This edge, where I have good lumber, this is the edge that's going to be facing up on the door. Whereas the edge that's not so great in terms of lumber, that's going to be facing the downside of the board. And just double check my mark. Reasonably good. All good things. Good. Yeah. So this side is definitely going to be facing downward because we want to make sure our pocket holes go into this. So this just gives us some material that we have to be a little bit extra with. Which is what that does, which is kind of what happens when you get into working with boards that have like various imperfections and things. Is you can certainly work with that material, it's just you have a little bit extra to keep in mind while you're working with that material. It's not necessarily a bad thing. but it gives you another thing to keep track of. And sometimes when you're doing a build or working on a project, sometimes you just have enough things to keep track of and you don't want to add to your burden. So you gotta kind of keep that stuff in mind. So we got that. Now, under 33 1/4. Lock the tape measure down so it doesn't move. Oh yeah, just a slight heads up, I'm actually kind of recovering from a little bit of ick, so my voice is somewhat mildly shot. It's not shot, but I'm not 100% in terms of voice, so just want to apologize for that at the start of things. And there we go. So that's 4 of our 33 1/4. So next up we have our 26 1/2. So these are the ones we want to be a little bit more particular about. Also, I have a board here. Cool. So I extended my tape measure out because I wanted to see how much length I had to work with, because I don't want to waste lumber, man. Trees are precious. Trees are precious. Trees are important. Take care of your trees. Go. Oh, this will be our first 26 1/4. There we go. Oh, Fetty Spaghetti, hello and welcome in. Glad to catch your stream again. Oh, thank you. And I hope you're having a good Saturday. As for me, I have delicious non-alcoholic beer. I have tools. I have a game plan. And I have materials. So yeah, we're going to be building doors for the tool shed. And we're doing a lot of dimension, which is we're taking big pieces of material and we're making them into smaller pieces of material. It's going well, thank you. It looks like yours is getting good too. Yeah. Actually putting the need to bring that in just a hair. There we go. Yeah, actually assembling the walls together was kind of a pain. The back wall was so heavy. I underestimated the weight of it. So it was kind of a pain to get that. Granted, I wasn't moving it far, but it was still a lot of weight for me to move by just myself. But I got in the position, was able to get my sidewalls in. And with the help of supports and, of course, clamps, I actually managed to get everything tied together. So, it was really, I was happy for that. Because that was a reasonable amount of work. So, that is going to be our pieces for that's the pieces for the frame of the doors. So we've been working with this fine 1x4 material. Oh man, that end looks rough. Not that bad though. Gosh, don't forget to I was rushing earlier this week and smashed my thumb with a hammer. Oh no. Oh shucks, like So for the sidewalls, I was actually kind of rushing to get those done because another VTuber invited me to be on his stream. And for a little while, because he's doing a birthday stream today, his name is the Nando, and he invited me on, and that was very nice of him, and I went on there for a while, but I was trying to get all 3 of my walls up, plus the 2x4 header, get all that done before that stream, well, before I went on his stream, because I don't know, I just wanted to at least get to that point in the build before I actually went on his stream. And then I did a little bit more work on the tool shed. I added trim, and then I made lunch, and well, not lunch, but dinner, and now here I am. So we're going to be cutting out pieces for what's basically going to be the paneling. So we're going to be... So doors are going to have 2 components. Component 1 is going to be just standard frame that you see on any sort of barn door. And then we're going to have some material that's just going to go behind it. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. It's too easy to hurt yourself. I'm so happy you're wearing eye protection. Oh man, that was... When I was actually commissioning this model, I actually wanted to have eye protection as a toggle, because, like, it's a toggle. Like, I can take it off. Wait. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Or I can add it. Yeah, that's a door. Love the wooden slat look. Oh man, the wooden slat, it's so classic. It's very classic, and more importantly, it's easy for me to build. One of my first woodworking projects, like way back when, like, gosh, like 2020? Yeah, it was 2020. Actually I made a set of barn doors for the garage. So I had what essentially amounted to a huge cutout in my drywall for water heater access. Well, my dad just put up, like plastic, like just standard like white plastic stuff. And I offered, what was it, a birthday or a Christmas gift? It was Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. And I told him I would build something to go over that. Well, I dragged my feet. I dragged my feet for far too long on that project, and he ended up passing away before I could complete that project. So, in the fury of activity going past that, I eventually finally got around to actually building that door frame, and so this actually isn't my first time doing this, but that was actually like the very first woodworking project I ever did, and that was long before I had all the various things I did. Like, I didn't even have my impact driver. Back in those days, I did not have the impact driver. I didn't even have a battery circular saw. I had a corded one. Granted, I love my corded circular saw. Like, Makita's nice, but like, don't underestimate Skills. Skills is still a really good brand of tools. It's so sweet. I'm glad you got it finished now. Well, yeah, his health was declining, so I actually bought all the materials, like, I want to say 3 weeks before he passed. And then the materials just sat around in here for a while, and then it was like, okay, well, it's lockdown and I'm bored. And I told this do this for him, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it done. So I went ahead and got it done. But yeah, so this ain't my first time doing this, granted. It's been a while since I've used the pocket hole jig. It's definitely been a while since I've used the pocket hole jig. So let's get... Actually, let's be extra. Gotta love Speed Square Kun for truing up ends. Okay. Get this guy flipped around. Now, so for this material, what do I want? What is the width of this material? Okay, 67, so. Genius, I never thought of that. Oh man, like, just being exposed to the internet and like all the various like ideas other people come up with is like one of the better things about being on the internet. Let's see, wait. Really shouldn't be burying my... Beneath that. Go, 67. But yeah, speed squares are great. Things that you can reference lines off of are easily easily one of the best quality of life things in woodworking. Gosh, so much of woodworking is just like, okay, I need to make a cut here, but I have to make sure it's square. I guess I'm just gonna be extra here. Here. There we go. So, granted, I'm gonna need quite a few of these pieces because each door is gonna need 5. So I'm making 2 doors. I need 10 of these bad boys. Oh man. Oh, but perfectly square wood is so pretty. I'm gonna go make dinner, but I'll leave the stream up. Be back in a bit. Stay safe. Oh, staying safe is definitely the name of the game around here, because a good day easily becomes a bad day if you don't stay safe. But yeah, enjoy a good dinner. Ooh. There we go. My magic number, which unfortunately is a number made of memes. Which probably the only fault of, in my time of knowing the Nando, that is the only fault I have with the Nando, is he's a little bit too much of a fan of the 6-7 meme. Okay, that's piece 2. Damn. And there we go. It is a good day New projects. That it most certainly is. Granted, I would almost go as far to say any day is a good day for projects, but I don't know. Saturday and the weekend is... Saturday is honestly probably like the best day for projects. Just because on Saturday, it's like Saturday is like a work day at your house. Whereas Sunday's a rest day. Sunday is a day to take it easy, take care of yourself, all those things. Goodness gracious, like, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm basically kind of throwing this lumber around. It's still fun. It's still very fun. Throwing lumber around is very, downright terribly fun. But, go work. And listen to the sound of whomp. Ooh. Oh man. This board in particular is very pretty to me. There we go. Hey now. Come on down. Go. That's what I want. Go. Ooh, nice, but also like, look at that wood grain. It's so pretty. Such an pretty piece of lumber. Which, like, seriously, like, one of my favorite things about cedar is how pretty of a lumber it is. It is very pretty. Like, not just in terms of color, but also wood grain. Oh, wow. I can bring that in. Oh, no! A pencil. Oh, man. Middle-aged men aren't supposed to bend like that. Ow. Ay, ay, ay. Grant, I am truly ending up with a god-awful amount of scrap-off kits. Let's add a little bit more. There we go. Six. Woohoo! We got 6 down, 4 to go. Let's see if we can keep up the momentum. Woo! And around in there. To the gosh darn it, how did this end up? How did I end up in this situation where most of my measurements were going to be a meme number, man? But it's fine. It's fine. It will be fine. And another piece on the pile. Ba, 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 ba. Woo! And there we go. There we go indeed. Oh. And there we go. Ducks. Last tool shed build. I went quite a fair amount of time. Without needing to use the restroom, but today's gonna be different. For today, I'm probably definitely going to be using the restroom after I finish dimensioning these. This might be piece number 9 for today's project. Gotta always appreciate a good old safety. Okay. 3, 4, 9. Last piece. Oh. And there we go. Wait. Oh my goodness gracious. So, the better number of these offcuts have been falling off and stacking themselves. because of how consistently I've been cutting them. Like I gotta just, like it's an actual stack. It's not like spilled over or anything, which I find very funny. That is hilarious. Okay. But yeah, my offcuts have just been getting stacked in a pile. Oh, I like it. Woo! Jeepers creepers. So much fun. So much fun. Okay. So, I have definitely been consuming my beverages today. So I'm going to throw the BRB screen on. We're going to take a quick restroom break. And then after the restroom break, I'll get back into the build and we're going to be drilling some holes for pocket screws. So, see you here in a few. Okay. So, hello, I'm back. And now that I'm empty of fluids, I can now begin the refill. So, a little bit of introduction to me and this beer. So, this is Bell's Brewing Smitten. So, me and this beer have a history. When I first tried this beer was phenomenal. Easily one of my top 5 favorite craft brews of all time. But then Bell's did not release for a few years, and then they brought it back as rather than have it advertised as a golden rye ale, they were advertising it as just a pale ale, which that Smitten was, it was okay. It was fine, but it didn't live up to the hype of old. And since then, it's probably been like 5 years since the last time I had Smitten. And at Costco today, I was going through the section of the area of Costco that has all the adult beverages, and I saw Bell's had this variety pack, including Smitten, advertised as a golden rye ale. I am very, very, very curious if this is an actual golden rye ale. if this lives up to the smitten of old, because this has kind of been one of those where I generally am a fan of Bell's beer. Like, for the most part, Bell's does make good beer, and I really like a lot of the things they make. But how they treated Smitten kind of rubbed me the wrong way, so I'm really curious to try this. So, I'm going to be trying this here, live. Because, hey, there's hype. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's definitely a rye beer. It's good. It's good. It's a rye pale ale. But so one of the things with rye is rye malts can be, to put it nicely, kind of harsh. It's not too harsh. It's pretty mellow. I don't think this quite lives up to the Smitten of old, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is enjoyable. It's a beer. I enjoy it. Okay, let's grab some tools. Because, actually, we're done with you. Oh, we're gonna now get into doing some pocket holing. For those who don't know what pocket holing, actually, still need that. These can move to another workbench. Drill. Drill! It's a drill. I need this thing. Okay, so I got that. So I now need to get my plans out, because plans are going to determine where my pocket hole screws will go. So, pocket holes typically go... I think you can make them in non-butt joints, but particularly I typically just use them in areas where I have butt joints. So a butt joint be something like two, and you're the smallest thing, so we're gonna grab two. That is a butt joint. One piece of wood to another piece of wood. That's it. Butt joint is the simplest type of joint. These are our 26ers. These are going to be our center boards, which... Jeepers creepers, I could have picked better center boards. The wood grain doesn't... There's nothing particularly desirable there. Nothing particularly pretty. So, but there is a side with a little bit more color, and a side with less color. I want the side with color facing out. So my drill is going to go in on this side. So for our pocket hole jig, bring our piece of lumber in, and then we clamp the jig. I think it's a bit loose. Ah, that feels tighter. Yeah, that's a bit better. That's a lot bit better. So with my drill, I'm going to come in here. Wait a second. Did I screw up? Yes, I did. I like looking before I commit. So, the face of the lumber that needs to be facing out needs to be facing a width towards the top. And the part where we're going to be making the pocket hole is going to go this way. So, we'll... Nope. Look. And I gotta say, that's a perfectly acceptable pocket hole. So, we're gonna be doing 2 pocket holes per side. Well, per, like, joint connection area thing. There we go, 2 pocket holes. So, fun thing with pocket holes is you typically don't see the joint connections. And we're also extra not going to see our joint connections because this is going to be going into a, we're going to put paneling on it. So the part of the boards that we're putting our pocket holes in, we're not going to, like this side, facing the camera, we're not going to be seeing that in the finished project. But yeah, there we go. 2 more. Oh, that's why it was going extra hard. I was cutting into that knot. That knot was also interfering with me a bit. So, grab a piece of lumber number 2. This is going to be the side we're going to put our holes in. So, the tape, that shows me the depth, how far into the jig I need to go. And then I also have other settings in my jig, like on the side, which that sets the material thickness. So in this case, I'm working with 7/8 thick material. So you set it to the 7/8 selection. So. And that's kind of a thing you gotta keep in mind when you're using the pocket hole jig, is you just gotta mind your preset, you gotta mind your settings, otherwise you're gonna end up with weird pocket holes. Do that, come on over to there. And that should take care of the other side of the board. There we go. And with that, that is actually half our pocket holes done. Kind of the nice thing about this build, okay, is that it doesn't require a lot of pocket holing. If I was making cabinets, that would involve a lot more pocket holes. Well, honestly, if I were to do cabinets, I'd be really tempted to just go the dado route. Now I have... Actually, did I use... No, I did not use dados for the flip tool cart stand build. But one of these days, for a shop project, I will use dados for a bit. Because hey, I have the dado stack. Why did I needed the dado stack for something particular? What was that particular thing I used the dado stack for? Gosh. Was it? It was. It was that project. Did I do it for rabbits for it, though? And now I cannot keep track of when I did one project or the other project. Which, this is what happens when you, like, do too many projects. You end up with, when did I do that again? And I know I said earlier that we were nearly halfway through. Alright. Pocket holing. Yeah, we're actually officially at our pocket hole, halfway through the pocket holing now. Get in there nice and tight. Over to the other side. Ow. And there we go. So I gotta put pocket holes in all these longboards. And rain sawdust down on myself. Remember, kids, don't breathe the sawdust. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, could have done better. Doesn't look as good as the other, but that looks good. That other side did not look as good. So let's go ahead and this side. Nice pocket holes. I've considered getting one of those jigs, but I keep stopping myself. Yeah. So, if... Ooh, don't tip over. If cost is a concern, you can actually buy just this part of the jig here, and you don't have to buy, like, the whole stand. Now, I actually bought this jig specifically for that last barn door project, but so at this point, any mileage I get out of this is additional mileage as far as I'm concerned. I would say one of the biggest downsides of pocket hole jigs is you end up becoming committed on your fasteners because you have to use pocket hole specific fasteners for whatever build you're doing, versus depending on how, if you're doing rabbits or dados, generally speaking, wood glue is going to be your friend. And you can always reinforce those with screws. Particular for me, I just use like deck screws. Well, different sizes of deck screws. The size of deck screw, well, depending on the project, determines my deck screw size. Oh wait, I gotta readjust that. Readjust it. Otherwise my pocket holes will not be pretty. Oh yeah. See, that's reasonably good. That's happy. Because, like me in my shop, I only have I pretty much have just two sizes of pocket hole screws. I have 1 1/4. To this day, I still don't know why I bought like a huge 10 of them. But I've got 1 1/4, and then I have 1.5 inches. That is, you haven't made yourself yet. Means your project is going better than most of mine. I mean, I get lots of little instances of whenever I like, say I'll like clamp this down, and when you go to clamp this down, this lever comes back. Sometimes I'll, well, no, oh yeah, because when I go forward, it'll suddenly clamp, and I'll like pinch myself in between this metal part right here. I bit myself one time on that, but it didn't draw blood. But so, and the thing, so another thing with like fasteners is whatever wood you're working with determines your threading. So this is a thing a lot of people don't keep in mind. Where did I put my bob? Here's my bob. So I've got some pretty good examples here. Need to grab a screw out of here. So this is meant for softwoods. So it's a coarse thread. So you don't have a whole lot of threads per like area of the screw. Here are the same size screws, but as you can see, the screws in my bag have a lot more threads than the screw I'm holding. The reason is these screws in the bag, these are meant for hardwoods. So that's another limiting factor with screws. Like, as you can see here, I'm working with cedar. Cedar is a softwood. So I'm perfectly okay to use these fasteners. These are like the little bonus extra fasteners that come in the box. If I wanted to make a hardwood project with pocket holes, I can't use this giant tub of screws. They're not the right screws. Like, they would kind of work, but it's not ideal. You gotta use the right fasteners for whatever project you're doing. Now, I've been lucky in the fact I go to estate sales. And last year, I went to an estate sale and I was able to buy myself. Yep. There's the pinching of myself. Clenching the jig. But yeah, I was able to get a whole bunch of deck screws, a whole bunch of fasteners. I was just able to get myself plenty of material to like fasten and join together wood at the estate sale. So I have right now an overflowing abundance of fasteners. So, but depending on where you're at, if you have room for storing fasteners, like I work out a 300 square foot garage, which puts me in, I have a fair bit of room, but I don't have all the room in the world. It's about that time of year for the sales too. Oh yeah, I actually went to an estate sale today. These little guys are in rough shape. But I did pick up not one, but two little block planes. So I don't have any block planes in my shop. I'm telling these guys. But holy smokes, these guys are in really rough shape though. They're gonna take a lot of TLC to work to get up into condition, but hey, you know what? I spent $3 and got 2 hand planes, and I already have plenty of WD-40, sandpaper, and sharpening stones to get these up to serviceable condition, ideally. But yeah, they're still in pretty rough shape. They're gonna be a pretty big project. Brandon, you. What are you? No, handyman. Oh, you're a Stanley handyman. Okay. Granted, I also say that, and did I cut that other pocket hole? No, I did not. Not cut that other pocket hole. Let's cut that. There we go. So, let's release it from the jig. Oh. Oh. Wow. Nice thing with this board is that both sides are really pretty. Ugh. Like one of the more disappointing things with the... Probably should have dug through my 1x4s a bit more. To get prettier 1x4s. Now my 1x6s are very pretty. I am very happy with. The quality of those. And with that, release it from the jig. And that gets to go down on the table. And with that, that is all of pocket holes. Drilled. So, my next step involves you and foresight. So, I'm going to be making my life easy for myself. Because when I build these frames, I'm only going to have enough material for one frame on here. Just because that's the best thing for me. So in my case, I've got two sides to this board. This is going to be one of the top or bottoms, probably bottom. So since this is kind of a plain Jane side versus to this side that actually has a little bit of heartwood to it, this is going to be the back side. Just roughly lay it out like this. And here, in my square everything up. Now, so I have a bit of a decisioning to do. My decisioning is my size of fasteners. I said I had two. I said I had 1/4 and 1.5. Well, if we look on the magic box, which it's really hard to read. How dare it do like that? So, for 3/4 material, it's recommended to use 1.25. For inch material, it's recommended to use an 1.5 pocket hole screw. The thickness of the material of my lumber is 5/8. It's in between those two. So, in the interest of overkill, I'm going to be leveling this up to the 1.5 in the sake of overkill. Grab my drill bit driver. And now we can do a little bit of fastening. So let's get that up. There we go. Simple as that. There we go. Reasonably square assembly. Now, the tricky part for me is how do I assemble a whole door frame while keeping the door frame in camera? Is a challenge old as time itself. Now, you there. Yeah, here we go. So the biggest thing I want to do is I want to make sure, oh wait, I get it well supported on my piece of plywood here. Ideally, if I wasn't doing this build like this, I would actually be assembling these pieces on the floor, because the floor gives me a nice flat reference surface, holds everything against itself, all that good stuff. But I don't necessarily have that luxury, so I have to be a little bit creative. Oh. There we go. Takes creativity, but it works. Now, there we go. So now they're in one of our sides. Now I should be able to grab you. Oh boy, that worked out. You gotta love casters. Casters are love. Casters are life. Let's see. 36 inches from top to. Oh, thank you. This is a big reason why I have a lot of like workbenches and stuff on casters. Is, ooh, wow. You're like, oh, you're oversized, Violet. That's, oh wait, that's why I'm oversized. Wait, is that why I'm oversized? Yeah, that's why I'm oversized. Ooh, I need to take measurements. Because from here to here, I am my 33/4, but from, that's why. I knew the widths being different would mess with me, and they have. So my board right here looks to be an inch. It's an inch 3/8 larger than what I need it to be. The reason for that is because my material is a hair bit longer than 4 inches. The material is not exact. I should have probably sized my material differently. So what this comes down to is I need to take an inch 3/8 off one side, and then re-drill my pocket holes, and I should be fine. But yeah. So my pieces, I pre-built them correctly. What that comes down to. But in the grand scheme of things, we are too big versus too small. If you're too small, you have to get the board stretcher. And I don't know about you, but I don't have a board stretcher in my shop. There we go. That's basically the amount that I'm over on this board. So I'm going to be cutting this off to the side. Let's see here. Reference. Reasonably solid surface? Question mark. There we go. Okay. Yep, it's just a hair bit tight, but that's what I want. So by taking all my excess off at one end, that means I save those pocket holes. So I only have to redo 4 pocket holes because of this. So I'm saving that board. Head and grab board number 2, and we're gonna just go ahead and we're gonna fix both of these together. So what I'm gonna do here, get reasonably happy with it, I'm gonna line both my boards up to where they're pretty even, and then that's gonna determine how much I need to take off this guy. Now, if I grab my tape measure, that's roughly 1 inch, but if we bring it, actually, you guys slightly see it better perspective over there. That line's really close to that edge, actually. Let me check it from my side. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, if I take that line, I'll be really good. That's what I want to do. Oh yeah. Mistakes. Whoopsies do happen when you're building things. But ideally, you will have given yourself the leeway to be able to redimension your pieces as needed in case you do a whoopsie. In my case, I did a whoopsie because I knew my material was thicker than what the building plans called for. I did a reasonably good job, I think, for accounting for that. But I still made a mistake. But I think the best way to have prevented this today would have been to actually get my frame to this point, measure, and then cut my boards to fit at that point. So those pocket holes are redone. So they might be a hair bit loose, a hair bit weak, because I've already removed the material. But I'm optimistic it should be okay. Now, I'm a little bit weak on material here, but I offset this one. We should be okay. I mean, keep in mind, I'm also going a little bit overkill on my fastener size. So that should help me out a little bit. So let's get this guy in here. Fits wonderfully. Close. And then I'm just going to make a mark just to help me out. Just in case something wiggles on me. Because, well, materials wiggle. Things move. Things change. Work pieces shift. It's all part of the process. And I do think upsizing the screws was a good idea. I can drive them. If I can drive. Driving is the biggest challenge it seems to be today. Okay. Oh yeah. So I need to we're pretty square right now. However, though, need to move that towards the bottom of the screen, it looks like. And let's get a second fastener in there. Go. I don't know. Oh, jeepers creepers. Because now our frame turns this way. Okay. Oh, a big thing I need to keep in mind. Mentioned it before. Mention it again. This is pretty side. Pocket holes go in the not pretty side. Here's the not pretty side of the board. Not pretty side of the board. Here. Like my a little bit long. It is a hair bit long. Just gonna cheat it to either side. It's screw in a drill. And then we got one fastener in. And two fasteners in. Then brings us to our final. So we got pretty gnarly gap here. So whenever you're trying to bring together boards and you have yourselves a big gap, one solution: a big clamp. Ah! Arrow it up. There we go. Powered clamp. We can attach anything. And with that, I should be able to... And my gap does not represent itself. Thank you, clamp. Thank you, clamp, so much. So with that, we have our wood frame done. So I'm gonna try... Yep. Oh. Here. And now we grab some pieces. So, not pretty side is going to be facing the pocket holes. So we'll start building our next frame. Oh. Get everything reasonably lined up. Now, ideally, I would have things set up a little bit better. Well, gravity was helping me out more. But I think that's about as close as I can get. Whew. Okay. I was a little bit worried about screw penetration on the other side, but I am Hakuna Matata on that front, so that's good. On down. Ooh. You're really close to where, weren't you? Yeah. Yeah, that's really dang close. Uh-oh, we'll grab ourselves a screw. Rest it in there, press down. Get that in. And for the other side. I think that's good enough. Ooh, yeah, don't do that. We can just QC this. Uh. Oh! Ah. Drop you down. And in you go. Grab ourselves magic board. Now we just gotta determine where to place it. Yep, that's... Whew! Really dang close. And once we get this in, it's going to add a lot more rigidity to the assembly, because having big long boards only held by pocket holes, typically not good. Pocket holes can hold some manner of force. They cannot hold a lot. Wow. Actually, right where I want it. I got lucky. Lucky! Then one more. My wood did split a hair right there because of how thin the material was. Also, another thing when you're working with Eastern Red Cedar loves to split on you. It will split, and it will split a lot. So, let's turn this around. Flop. Get final board. So, final board. We have that edge we do not wish to put our pocket holes into. So we have to put our pocket holes into this side. And this is our exterior facing side with the pretty colors. So, come down and onto here. Like so. Woo! Now, then it's around. We have terrible gap width. Fix that with a clamp. There we go. Supposed to work on it. We can drive our fasteners in. One more. Done. Bada bang, bada boom. And that's 2 door frame assemblies done. Now we get to do a fun part. Well, actually, I'm done with the pocket hole screws. So we will lock those away. Then the next step is put these materials up. Not so concerned about them. Park them off to the side. Take a swig of beer. Because next is the grand laying of boards. So for these boards, they're going to be attached to basically our frame. I'm going to be using... Oh, here you are. Let me grab magic screws. So I got magic tech screws. Might run out of those, but I will get replacements. I need drill bits. Because when you're working with cedar, cedar will split. Terrible. Cedar is terrible at splitting on you. So for the exterior ones... Oh, can you... Yeah, I think you guys... Let me... Sorry, chat. I'm going to move you just a hair bit. So, yeah, you can kind of see I have a gap. And now now that I'm thinking about it, I need to make that gap even, but... Oh, take my... Oh, gosh. Half-inch there. It's a half-inch down there, so I want to just make sure it's nice and even. So that gap is to help this board. I have a gap at the top. I also have gaps at the bottom as well. So it's going to kind of help this kind of like recess into the frame assembly of the thing. So these first boards, we're going to get overflowing abundance. And I'm going to give it an overflowing abundance of screws because hands on the right bit so that way they will help contribute to the frame being rigid, because the thing is, this material is thicker and stiffer than the frame it's being attached to. So let's see. Ooh. Get one more. Okay. Okay, so let's talk fasteners. So basically here's what we got going on. We have one piece of lumber, another piece of lumber. You want to use a fastener that when you drive in bites at least a hair bit past halfway into your second piece of material. So these inch 5/8 fasteners are nearly perfect. for doing what I'm doing right here. You could use 1.5 inches. Like, if you're within 1/8 of an inch of where you want to be, it's good enough. It's going to be good enough. You don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah. But you do wish to be... It's good to be mindful of your fasteners. And the best part of everything, that's the first board of 5. I can move all these goodies to this side of the world. Board. Determine which side looks prettiest. Side that looks prettiest. Side. And then for these that are going to be in the center, I'm probably going to do 2 screws here, 2 screws down here, 2 screws down there. That's for a total of 6. I think I did 10 on my edge board. I think I did 10 there. And do I should I should learn from the lessons of my past. So I'm going to start grabbing boards and I'm going to lay them out. I'm adding these boards. In the way I'm doing. Oh. Where did the other side's prettier? And there we go. That's the full laid up panel. So I have roughly 1/2 inch gap here. But I have a hair bit more of a gap down there. But wanna know the fun thing about that? That tiny little gap over there? No one's gonna see it. Because one part of this is gonna be part of the inside. That looks great. Everything looks great. Okay. Woo! Oh man. I don't know if I can. Well, yeah, okay. I got range for that. Okay. So, one downside to laying things out like this is guess what, guys? You're going on a field trip. So, we're coming up. See the whole door laid out in the back in all its wonderful glory. Now, so what I want to bring your attention to is how I plan to keep track of that center board. That's with that screw right there. I have a screw right here, and that tells me where my center board is, so that way I know where I'm sending those screws at. Otherwise, I could potentially lose. Otherwise, I could potentially lose track of where I'm going. But I'm also like reasonably impressed with how long today's ran on for. Man, that's the thing with like woodworking projects is like I can never like accurately guess how long it's gonna take for me to work on a project. Those boards kind of look like a face. Oh, you're talking about these two guys. Yeah, you're talking about the guys with the spike knots, I think. I mean, also, that's just another thing with, like, a lot of Eastern Red Cedar. A lot of Eastern Red Cedar just, like, it's a very, pardon the pun, naughty. There's a lot of knots in this material. Yeah. Oh, wait, that's not... Oh, wait, that's actually even something kind of cooler. Those boards... I think I book matched those. Actually, yeah, I did book match. Okay, so I did actually book match them. So what book matching is where, imagine a saw blade cutting through the log, and then you have two faces of either side of that curve. So you see how we have those knots line up, and then really I think the big evidence is like those knots further down there. But yeah, these two boards actually came from the same tree and were right next to each other in that tree. Now, I did that completely on accident. That some people will try and do book matching to make it like look really pretty on some projects. Flat tree. I lose the flat tree. For my CD shelf project, I basically made a huge square of 1-inch thick sassafras lumber, and the ones I put on the end. So you have one piece on the bottom of the floor, and you have one piece up towards the ceiling. The ones on the edges of that square frame, I used book matched pieces of sassafras for that on that part of the project. So if you look at the shelf from one side, you'll see like the grain and stuff, and then if you look at it from the other side, it looks the same. At least the grain patterns do. So it's a extra touch in woodworking that's kind of technically above my skill level. Like, I know it exists. I know what it looks like to do it correctly. But do I have the skill to reliably do it? Not quite so much. But yeah, book matching is fun stuff. One of these days, as I grow and develop more as a woodworker, I definitely want to utilize it more because, well, one of the big reasons why I do woodworking and such, all these sorts of things is, well, I like trees. Sugi is very much like the Lorax. I am on team trees. Which, unfortunately, I had to turn down volunteer opportunities to plant trees today because of, well, adult responsibilities. Because as much as I like supporting trees, supporting causes, different things like that, at the end of the day, I have to take care of my adult responsibilities before anything else. Uh, let's see if we can do a spinneroonie. Spinneroonie. But the problem is with spinneroonies is my floor. My floor is so dirty. There we go. Oh. But yeah. And with that, the scary faces are gone. And now we're on the other side of the world. Granted, I do actually really like this part of the project because it's very. This is very chill, very relaxing. Just repetition, kind of like one of the more here, like how some people say woodworking can be like therapeutic and such. Well, like just good for you. This is good for me. I am pretty sure I'm going to kill this bucket of screws on this project. Which is fine, because I have more. Well, I think I'm going to have to, midway through the next shelf, I'm going to have to go to 1.5 inches. Man. Just tearing through liquids, but my liquids are so very I also have access to very delicious liquids. But yeah, we got one last board to do. Wait. There you are. This. Here we go. That's all those boards drilled out. Now just install fasteners. Cornucopious amounts of fasteners. But this, after these boards are added, this frame is pretty much not going to go anywhere. Now it would have been real nice if I could have used the nail gun for this. However, I only have 2-inch nails and 2 inches of fasteners. This. Okay, let's see 2 more. And that's it. That is a door. That is door number 1 done. It's not too much work at this point, but man, I got off of here. The fun thing is, the wood load on here is not balanced evenly. Oh. Whew. Oh. Whew. Come on, down, Fred. 2. But yeah, so I do like showing the results of my work. So we take a gander here. Oh, oh no, oh no, oh yeah, there it is. That's door number 1. Sorry for the shaky camera work, but yeah, looks great. I'm very happy with that. Hopefully I get these doors on tomorrow. We'll see. My game plan after today's stream is to just take it easy. What green looks best? What looks best? I think. Use manners. So, remember for your first board, really important, you nail down your spacing, because once you set this board, you can reference off of it as you build out the rest. And you know you're good. But you have to do this board right. Because say for example, this board ends up being a little bit twisted, it's going to make rest of your boards look a little bit twisted, which if you go for a sick diagonal look, then you have a sick diagonal look. But I'm not trying to have a sick diagonal look. Okay. Let's see here. So, I'm in a position where I am doing reasonably predictable stuff. Actually, no. We'll do this. I'm gonna be messing with you guys a little bit. Let me mess with you guys a little bit. We'll go up to there. We'll bring you. I'm gonna be doing a lot of going around, so I'll just have you guys in this. I have you guys in the center of my various work. Versus being at just one edge. I think it'll be better for like helping you guys tell where I'm at. Okay, so you can see that screw. Okay, so you can see the better part of the number of screws I'm working with. Oh. 3 more. I'm really digging the bottom of the barrel of that screw. Those screws. Oh, there we go. So I have, I think, enough screws for one more board. Do I already have my hat? I'm early. Oh, come on. Oh, I have. No, I grabbed my 1.5 screws. Oh, wait. Where are they at? Oh, wait, they're not 1.5 inches. Oh. They're 1.75 inches. So, let me open up these bad boys. So, with these being 1.75 inches, they are 1/8 of an inch bigger than the screws I've been using. Oh, wait, no. No, these are basically the same size. Oh, no. If we're that close, I'm not worried about anything. Oh, man. With this amount of not worries, I can just have a beer. That's what I can do. Okay. Let's grab some lumber. So, one of the nice things with the expanded view is you can see more of the wood grain. So, here we have a lot of pink purple, lots of knots. Flip it around. I think we kind of lose on the knots. That looks a little bit prettier, so remember, pretty side faces down. That's going to be the outward facing side of the door. This next piece of lumber, a little bit more of a plain Jane, not too many knots. Some people would consider that pretty desirable. But we've got, one of the things I really like about Eastern Red Cedar is some of these strips, this streaking, because this beautiful purple color is going to turn into this brown color. So this color will eventually turn into this color, but the sapwood will still remain a lighter color. I like this side more, so this side to look at. Where I want it. Looking good. Let's see what we got here. So this is pretty good. That's okay too. Oh man, I'm 50-50 on this. I'm really 50-50 because that's pretty nice. But that's nice too. Like, I don't know. I think I'll go for the more knot side. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. And our last board. So, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna go with this side. Oh, here we go. Now we do have. Sorry for being a little bit too close and personal, but whew. But overall, I'm pretty happy with everything. Everything looks nice. It looks pretty. Nice even gap. Flash vid. How goes the door? Going good, going good. So, I was picking out grain patterns on boards for what part of this door I want people to see. So this is door number 2. Behind me, there is door number 1. So I gotta say, I actually really like door number 1. I'm just a hair bit disappointed that the board there, the cedar's already started to brown. So it's like lots of really prettiness, but then some not so prettiness. But overall, very happy with it. So we've already got the frame built. We've selected boards. Now it's all a matter of getting everything attached. Doors on. Which one? This right here? Do you see a face here? Because we were funny enough, Betty the Spaghetti was like the other door had a face on the backside. Oh, where's the that's the thing with Eastern Red Cedar and all the knots it has. Seems to be like people seem to see faces in it. Granted, that's fine with me because, well, my home may or may not be haunted. Because I have had some, like, quote-unquote weird stuff happen at my house. Or at least the last guy I lived with. Oh, that's that bin of screws done. Empty bin of screws. I apologize if that seemed violent, but I really like just like, oh, I have an empty container of a thing I can throw. I should probably throw it. I like being violent from time to time. Do. Go ahead and now I'm not gonna try and zip these screws in as much because they supposedly, according to past Sugi, these screws should be 1/8 of an inch larger than the ones I was using before. I should be fine. But I'm gonna be a hair bit cautious. And the form that hair bit of caution is gonna take is rather than trying to zip the screws into the wood surface, I'm just gonna leave them a hair bit proud. There. Question mark. There. Question mark. And oh. And spin it around. There we go. There we go. I love rapid firing fasteners into wood. It's satisfying. Using the nail gun was a lot of fun. And you better believe I'm going to be busting that out in future projects. Oh, hey, Mr. Spock! How you doing? I got beer. I hope you got beer. Well, I also have beer and nearly built door. No beer! Oh no, that's sad. Are you at least gonna have a beer tomorrow? Lots of weed. Well, you sir, enjoy your thing. I'm gonna enjoy my thing. The weekend is meant for fun and relaxation. Oh, wait. Oh, that's... One of my fasteners is not like the other. Yep. I'm paranoid about my fastener. Let's see, I need 3 more. Woo! The wood looks good. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I mean, it's cedar. Cedar just generally looks great. So our door's built. Stay put. Are you going to stain it? No. Oh. But here we go. Chat. That is 2. Count them. 2. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2. 2 doors made of Eastern red cedar. Done. Oh. What a project. Actually, as far as like a single stream project, that's like really nice as far as they go. Like pretty straightforward to do. Oh goodness gracious, carbon dioxide leaving my belly. So I'll take the scraps. Oh, you want the scraps, Mr. Spock? Oh man, we got some great scraps here, man. I gotta say, like, what you got? Oh. I also have like a massive. I cannot camera angle. There. Oh wow. Wait, that's why, because it's like one of those aeroplane games. It's like the reverse of what you think you're doing. Oh. Owl's nest. Oh, but yeah. That is 2 doors made of Eastern red cedar. Done. I'm gonna set you guys down because, well, actually, Wait a second. I should be able to... Yeah. We can just actually adjust the thing rather than me having to hold the damn thing. But yeah, there we go. There we go. There. Behold. Doors. Built. Completed. Done. Another wonderful project done. But yeah, at some point tomorrow, I'm gonna work on getting these doors. Ooh, wait a second. Wait a second. I got doors. Doors. Woo. So, I'm not doing anything fancy as far as my hinges. I'm just basically going in with like 3-inch strap hinges. There it is. You're so powerful. Oh no, I am not. I am not entire. I am not very powerful. I'm just kind of powerful. But yeah, you got that's some. So each door is gonna get 3 of these bad boys, and I think between 3 of these hinges, that will be more than enough support for these doors. They're not super big strap hinges, but they'll certainly get the job done. What hardware do I got? Oh yeah. So I've got latch. Kind of hard to tell, but there's a latch, and I'm gonna put a lock on it because, well, so the whole reason for this project existing is because I'm wanting to store a fire pit in it, and that fire pit cost me $500. So the thing's getting a lock. Also, I'm planning to throw. So part of this project is I have this corner of shame in my shop. Now I have a lot. Wait. Ah! Hardware fell out of the back. So I have most of this corner of shame is sawdust. That big bucket is nothing but sawdust. I have wood scraps. There's a forge. My forge is underneath my finger there. And then I also have a whole bunch of gardening implements up here, and I kind of want to try and move as much of that out from my garage into the shed. Hopefully free up a little bit more room in here. Hopefully tidy this up and maybe turn that into like a blacksmithing corner. Who knows? Maybe I might be able to have a corner of the shop that is dedicated to just blacksmithing, because I'm still very new to blacksmithing and still have a long way to go on that. But I didn't show you handles for these doors. So my game plan is, at some point in the future, will not be next week, but at some point in the future, I'll actually be forging the handles that I'll put on these doors. So that will be, wait, will that be the first time that'll be the first time I made hardware for an outdoor project. But not the first time I made hardware. But I am going to be utilizing, we'll talk more about that when I get closer to it. But for now, it's been 2.5 hours. It's been a really good stream. Like, this has been some really good projecting. So, let's see here. Let me just... Is that legend still going? The legend is still going. Wait, I don't... Wait, is he... ending? May have started. Okay, so Nando's stream might. I think Nando's probably gonna be wrapping up his stream soon. So it's Nando. There's no one really else. to really raid. But I think so. He might be ending here soon, but if you guys get a chance, go wish that Nando a happy birthday. So with all that, this has been Sugi Yamagawa. Thank you very much for tuning in, and may you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at, and may you have a great weekend. And with all that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you around the next time. Bye-bye.